What's up guys, this is Ollie and you know what time it is. It is time for another adventure. This time it is for Monty, another member of the Radiant Order, my least favorite faction in the game. Because there's like one playable unit in an entire faction and everybody else is not that great. So, going into this adventure, knowing this, we already can tell we're not gonna get perfect scores. Because as soon as the game requires us to play only Radiant Order heroes, I know I'm gonna flake out because half of these guys just made it to rare and I will not put any work into them. Having said that, we can't get the last chest you can get in the adventure that you get for the max scores, and which is kinda underwhelming, at least speaking from experience from the past couple of adventures. You can get the second to last chest, which is also quite good. So I show you how to do that. Let's not waste any more time. Look at the first encounter. This is common number 1. Here we have to play Radiant Order heroes. Woo! But it's actually relatively easy when you go up against common enemies. So it's all about positioning here. This is relatively straightforward. The best unit, the only playable unit, yeah, I'm going there. The only playable unit in the Radiant Order is Sir Matt, because Sir Matt brings horsies, and horsies mean that you're not taking any damage. Okay, here we go. So Arios takes out 2 guys on the left. We try and damage 2 of these guys with Monty's shot. I don't even think that's the best choice. I think the best choice is to just go for a straight up attack. And we have 2 more turns to get a lightning victory. This is relatively easy. On the other hand, if we didn't have those extra 2 turns, I'm not sure we can actually get there, because on this turn we're not finishing them. However, that was partly because I made the mistake of using the active of Monty, which is not as good as you may believe, but I'm gonna show you that later. So, pretty straightforward level, everybody can max score this level, even when he just started playing. Which takes us to common encounter number 2 with one of my favorite conditions in the game. We can only play rogues. Oh my god, no, I can play geeks. So this is all about positioning again. There's a good chance that I need forever and ever and ever and ever to select my heroes. Yes. But in the end, I'm feeling like this is the way to go, because we have Giggs on the left hand side together with Naevis, and that means Giggs can throw his empty the net into the bottom pit. So that's taking out a lot of units. This is the exact moment I realized there's opponents at the top. I was like, what? I didn't see these guys before. What are they doing? But my Vara can take them out, and then we have Katsume, and that means we basically won, because now it's like a 5-on-1. This is as unfair as it gets. And that leaves us with a perfect score and another few more points for this adventure. In common encounter number 1, we cannot take any damage, but it's a free-for-all. We can play whoever we want. That means we can play all the strongest units we got and all the units that can create summons. So after looking over my squad very carefully, I felt like this seems to be the best choice. Grandma Bones is always good in these encounters, because Grandma Bones means you get a lot of summons after you destroy some guys. So we can see that here already, 1 summon, it's not that many. But this is just gonna get worse for the opponent, better for us, because Grandma Bones says, yeah, more summons, more summons, more summons. We can take out another guy. This is a bit of a strategic misplay, because I first should have gone for Queen Akeshru. I think it doesn't really matter, to be honest. So it's like a 500 to 1. And that gives us a perfect score. Just bring your best team, and then you can very easily finish this encounter without hassle. This takes us to uncommon encounter number 1, where we can only play light heroes, which gives us still enough choice. There's 2 more good units that opens up for us, Tanamo and Yasmin. Other than that, we have to rely on the Radiant Order. But I feel like they are actually quite cool here. I don't think that we need to go for Tanamo, especially since she's not great against uncommon enemies. She's only getting great at like epic enemies. Eventually, I am like, okay, I think this is the squad to go. This took me 400 years for whatever reason. And then Monty has the highest position, the best position, so he can kick things off. Then we have Arios, and then on top of that, this is quite nice, we can look at the danger zone. We can see actually once this guy at the bottom is down, there's not going to be much danger left. And this is a really good setup, because Sir Florianus is the only guy that can strike back when we hit him, so we need to take him out before he does anything to us. It's relatively easy if you go here with both Monty and Arius on him, and then after that it's a walk in the park and we get another perfect score. Uncommon encounter number 2 again requires us to play heroes from the Radiant Order. These are the hard ones. So this one is all about positioning, which I may or may not need hours to do. So let's just skip forward. And I feel like this is the right team composition. Then we can go here with Arios. I mean, they got these guys lined up so nicely. We can take out 3 of them at the same time. That's quite straightforward here. And now we need to move our guys to the bottom because Tavarinci is otherwise going to be a problem. The other thing is we're loading up Sir Matthäus's special here because now he's been around for 2 turns before we go for his active. Because the question is always, can we take out Tavarinci before she does anything? Yes or no? And we do have enough time for Lightning Victory. And we have a healer. And here's another little cheat. You can actually heal the summons, which means they are going to be able to survive a little bit longer and basically tank this attack from Tavarinci, and that helps you get the perfect score. Uncommon encounter number 3 gives us the first real challenge in this festival, because this is the one that I had to try like 3 times or something until I finally got it right. The tricky part here is again the positioning of your heroes, and also on top of that the order of attacks. So it's kind of important to start with Granny at the bottom if you happen to have Granny. This level is still doable without Granny, but I think it's just a lot easier with Granny, and we can see why in just a second. Because once you start taking out the units at the bottom, Granny makes sure that you're left with a couple of summons. And summons are always good because the opponent likes to attack summons and ignore your other dudes. So now we already have a couple of skeletons at the bottom. The guys on the right are going to be busy with the skeleton that we got there. And now we can look, the active of Grandma Bones is actually taking out the little slinger that is hiding in the bush. So this guy is down, and now the only other enemy that is somewhat troublesome is the catapult, which gets taken out by a shade. And after that, again, it's a walk in the park. There's nothing left to do here, but just like use a couple of ranged attacks to take out Boulder before Boulder can go for his special, which will give him a lot more life. We don't want that because that's gonna risk for us not getting the perfect the Lightning Victory rather, with perfect scores. So now just play a little bit carefully and have your summons do the rest. And that's all there is to it. And with that we got perfect scores across the board for all the common and uncommon encounters. Which takes us to the rare encounters, which are the hardest part of this festival if we're talking about levels that seem doable but are kinda hard to pull off. So the trick here is to use the active of Monty to push Gibbo and Gobbo into the thorns, and after that and some legwork by Arios, Tanamo can just quickly clean out everybody and you're left with a Lightning Victory in no time on your first turn. It's almost like an arena match. In rare encounter number 2 we are allowed or required to play rogues, so that means it's relatively doable if you happen to have a powerful Gix. It's all about positioning again here. So this time it's about where do I attack first, when do I attack, how do I maximize the number of summons. And after giving this a little bit of thought, I felt like I had the right strategy down. And you have to get a bit lucky in this encounter. Now, I'm not sure why I'm thinking for 5 hours here. So we start with Monty because that means that we can actually move in with Gix, go into the back. So all of our units are in the back. They can no longer get hidden or get hit. And we do have enough units here. We just need another frog. This is the one part that I was missing here. I think we need one more frog to get the perfect score here and not get hit. Because we can see that in a second here, while we are almost able to clean out these guys. Maybe we just need to get lucky with the attack here. I'm not 100% sure. I think we just need to get lucky with the attack here. Yeah, I think that's the only damage I'm taking here. Yeah. Alright, if you're a bit more lucky than me and the guy with 3 life somehow goes down, you are getting a perfect score on this level. This way you only get 498 out of 500. I will get the perfect score on this level. This is how you do it. You saw how this works. This takes us to rare encounter number 3 with one of the most restrictive requirements I have ever seen in any adventure. We have to play light units that are also ranged. So there's 4 units in the game that you can play. If you don't happen to have Adasi, good luck perfect scoring this level. And spoiler alert, I am not perfect scoring this level. I'm just trying to show you the strategy that I believe is the best strategy. So Monty goes on the shooting range in the middle of the map. You need your healer Hannah on the right hand side to take out the guys and heal your guys, more importantly, in just a second. So she can also do a bit of damage here. So now the object, the meteor that Darcy was producing, is gonna stop the opposition on the right hand side from like rushing in and dealing damage to you. And we're now using the passive effects of both Darcy and Areus to basically protect our healer, get hit, and strike back with damage. That's the idea here. If your units are not completely underdeveloped like my units, this is like the first time I put any work into a Darcy, and it hopefully will be the last time I put any work into a Darcy, you're gonna be fine. You should be able to perfect score this level. I cannot, and I'm not even... Now actually I'm kind of mad about it, but not all that mad about it. So now you're basically clustering your healer in the back, and your mages are doing the rest. And if they do like a little bit more damage than mine, if their actives and passives have been leveled to like some degree, because mine are like level 16 or something, so not something super impressive, you should get there with this strategy. I think that the strategy is fine. The only question is, can we get the lightning victory in time? But you will figure that out if you have the other units. This is really painful to watch, I have to admit. This was the part where I considered not doing videos for this festival altogether, because I felt really kind of bad about this, to be honest. But yes, in the end we're eventually gonna get there. It just takes 5 hours, like I said. You can constantly heal your heroes, so it's relatively easy to get all of the requirements down, and on top of that have perfect health for all your heroes. So this is not the worst strategy. The only problem is we cannot get the lightning victory. Alright, I think I'm going for the heal, yes, and then we go for the attack. So this gives us 3 stars and 500 out of 600 points, but we are nowhere near close to the lightning victory. Good luck to you. Just when we thought it couldn't get any worse, that we have to play light and ranged heroes, we now have to play the Radiant Order. That might actually be worse. So, in this level, I think the correct strategy is to go in with Sigrid. Get a little bit lucky with your crits. Then move Areus to the right side. That's kinda important. If the active does not suck, 2 of these goblins are dead. Did I mention that my units from the Radiant Order are somewhat underdeveloped? I'm not sure if I mentioned it. Alright, and then we can go in with Sir Mattois. He provides us with some much needed blocking guys. Like the horses are basically helping us not take any more damage. And Hannah, of course, is doing her move again that I showed you earlier. We're just healing the horse, which means that it can withstand a few more attacks. So this looks not great. Here you can go for the active of Hannah to heal everybody 100% up, and after that you have 3 opponents and 3 attackers if after Monty takes out one of these guys. The strongest guys is what I would recommend. And if your guys from the Radiant Order are somewhat developed, I think I mentioned this, you will get a perfect score here. So this is the strategy. The only thing you need is stronger heroes than me. But I think almost everybody has strong. Actually, I'm not sure. I think there's a lot of people who don't have developed heroes from the Radiant Order. Alright. So, this is again somewhat painful to watch. I just realized I should have healed first before moving Hannah around. In the end, it doesn't matter. The lightning victory is fleeting by, and I need to get 2 more attacks in. I'm not even sure what I'm thinking about here. And then we see Areus attack. We see I'm now very disappointed because I realize, okay, I can never get the perfect score here no matter what I try. And this is basically over. 2 attacks and this guy is still standing. So, yeah. If your Radiant Order is developed, you can get a perfect score. I think I mentioned this. Alright, finally we got all the health in the world. Also, game designer, this level could really be a lightning victory for 3 turns. It's hard enough to play with the Radiant Order. Why do you make us do this? Like I started spending to improve my units. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, we need to... Next. In rare encounter number 5, we can play rogues. Yes! Which means it takes forever to sort out my units, so we're just gonna skip that part. Yep. And I think after some more consideration, I feel like Nimrod is the way to go. This video is 2 minutes long, but after skipping this part, it's like half a minute long. Alright, and then it's relatively straightforward again. We can just go in with Monty, get an attack in. We can then use Giggs. Giggs can give us like the maximum number of summons here. This is pretty cool. He is in the thorns, but that's not a problem. And now we can actually use my Vera to take out 2 more guys here. or hopefully take 2 more guys out, because actually you need to make sure that Pari does not see the next turn, because Pari's active would otherwise hit Gix. But if that works out, you're fine, and that gives you a perfect score on the first attempt. Did I mention I like rogues? We continue with the epic encounters, where we need to play ranged heroes, which is a very restrictive requirement. It only allows us to pick 1 out of 500 units. It's almost as bad as playing Radiant Order. So after giving this some thought, I feel like Gix and Queen Akeshu are my best bets. I believe that Gix is better on the left hand side because there's more free spaces around this catapult, whereas Queen Akeshu is better on the right hand side. So we first take out the catapults with the actives of Gix and Queen Akeshu. That provides us with a barricade of summons. The opponents are going to focus on the summons, and now we can actually attack and control this game from very controlled position. Like we can just like slowly advance forward, use our units that are all very powerful. Normally Queen Akeshu and Gix are very powerful if you happen to have them. And yeah, this is a walk in the park again. So we just slowly move forward, and for whatever reason we have 3 more turns to get a lightning victory. 3 more turns to get a lightning victory? We can do this in 2. So we have to have a word, game designer man. Yeah? This Rand counter with Radiant Order. 1 more turn. This one less turn. We're good. In epic encounter number 2, we have to deploy rogues! Yay! Okay, after giving this 500 years of consideration, I'm basically planning out my entire run before I even start the match. And then eventually I feel like the best lineup is this. We will see why in a second. We want to have an AoE effect on the top, that would be Gix, and an AoE effect on the bottom, that would be Umanu. And then Tanamo can play cleanup, almost cleanup. I was kind of disappointed. I thought like, I'm not going to get the max score. However, look at this little goblin running to the top to attack my summons. What a little idiot. That gives us perfect score with a lightning victory. And on to the next one. Epic encounter number 3 requires us to deploy only light heroes, and it is without question the trickiest one out of the epic encounters. I like the strategy that I'm going for here. It did not quite work out for me. We're kicking things off with Siad, we get 2 snakes. Then we start cleaning house on the right hand side with Sermat and Tanamo. I did not go for the horses of Sermat, and thinking about this again, there might be a better choice going for horses here, because then the goblins that are gonna move in a second, they are going to focus on the horses, and the horses would now move to the left side where all the opponents are, because we do have a bit of time. Tanamo can now clean house. And then the most important attack is this one with Monty on Pari, because Pari's active is otherwise going to give us a lot of trouble. So if we had gone for the horses on the first turn, we can now move Sermat in, and we're now in a very good situation, because if Sermat gets damaged, he can just heal up by going next to a horse. The horse are going to do some damage, and then Monty we can heal with Yasmin. And in the end, I believe that this should get us there. I didn't manage to try it out yet. Make sure if you didn't go for horses before that you not first move Sermat and then use his active, but rather only use his active even if you get less horses, because then he actually heals himself. So this is not a perfect run, but it should give you some ideas of how to get a perfect score in this level. All of this leaves us with just the legendary encounter, and I'm not even going to try and do it with just a Radiant Order lineup. There's like 5 players in this entire game that could get a perfect score on this level, I believe, because nobody else is crazy enough to like legendary star the Radiant Order heroes. Shout out to Pankok while we're talking about it. Alright, so the perfect lineup here, in my opinion, is going in with Tanamo, because you get infinite skeletons that are gonna help you out big time, because all of the opponents that are remaining are now very busy handling skeletons. Then after that we can move Monty into the bottom. Before we do that, we go Gix to the top. I think now I'm going for Monty. Nope, I don't. For some reason I don't like Monty. I'm just cleaning up on the left hand side, left top hand side, and I brought Servidus because I thought it would be fun to just like lock down Boulder so he cannot do anything. So that basically leaves Boulder standing in the middle. He cannot use his active, he cannot run to all the skeletons. All he can do is attack Tanamo, which is not a big problem because Tanamo is not gonna die from one attack, even if it's the strongest attack in the game. I think the only attack that can kill Tanamo with one attempt is the active of Granny, if I'm not 100% mistaken. Let me know. But then it's relatively easy, and we do get 3 stars, but there's no chance whatsoever that I'm gonna get a perfect score on this level, so I didn't even bother trying. Who's got Radiant Order heroes? That's already it for this adventure. Hope you guys learned something and you were able to open the second to last chest just like I did. Don't feel too bad about it. No one is able to open the last chest, with maybe the exception of some freaks like Punko, but that's basically it. If you want to learn more about Rivengard, make sure to subscribe to the channel. There's gonna be a starter guide going up sometime soon. I'm putting a lot of work into that, trying to give you all the information that I wished I had when I started picking up Rivengard. So if you want to have a head start from the very beginning, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And then I'll see you guys very soon, either in the arena, very soon in the duel mode, in the brand new mode, or of course on the official Discord or the Discord of my squad. We are currently looking for some new blood, so if you ever thought about fighting a couple of legendary heroes, make sure to check out the Discord of Eternal Nexus. A link is in the top comment. I pinned it for you guys, so make sure to check it out if you're power level 21 or higher, and we might be guildmates very soon and take down some legendary dragons together. See you guys very soon.